To start things off today, we've got another piece of fan art. This time by 77 Explorer on Reddit. They've made a Mellifera mini in Hero Forge. I love the attention to detail. She's even got the skull ring, and the combat boots look great with all the gore. I want to thank 77 Explorer and anyone else who's subscribed, commented, or otherwise shown support for the channel. Between the video essays and this playthrough, we've grown a ton, and it's allowed me to pick up a new microphone and devote some more time to making videos. I've learned a lot, and it's all thanks to the viewers. With that out of the way, let's hop to it. Our phone says it's June 1st, but there's a chill in the air that makes us wish we had a blanket. We've awoken at 11 o'clock at night. It should be plenty dark enough to get out and explore. Our stomach growls at us, but unfortunately there's some mold on what's left of the cake. We'll have to throw it out. It looks like there's been a little bit of an update to the speed panel. The top 3 entries are reductions to the speed of all of our actions, and the bottom entry indicates a move cost penalty. Lower speed is bad, and higher move cost is bad. This is indicated by the red color. If these were bonuses, they would be green. It looks like our mouth is chilly, and that's part of the problem. Don't we have a scarf? Yes, we do. We'll put that on and make sure it's wrapped tight over our mouth. It'll take a couple of seconds for us to warm up. There we go. We can see that the warmth on our mouth is now 28. The number being green means that it's within a comfortable range for us and is no longer slowing us down. We are thirsty, so we'll have some clean water. And we'll begin the now familiar routine of checking our traps. There's a bag of peanuts. Okay, it looks quiet out here. More peanuts. A little candy. We realized that one of the zombies that we've caught in this trap was a mail carrier. It still has a mailbag and there are some newspapers inside. Maybe we can take a look at those in a minute. In the meantime, we'll grab some smokes. This scarred zombie is still out here. Let's just finish it off. What the hell is this outfit? It had some honeycomb. Why not? We'll come check around the snack shop. Grabbing this permanent marker. We probably have one already, but they're useful. We're gonna unload this game watch. It has an ultralight battery, which is like one of those little coin batteries that you find in watches. They're not used for that much, so they wind up being pretty rare. We never really got a good look at the snack shop on the East End. It looks like they sold ice cream. Some of it's rotten by now, but this sundae cup looks good. Just kind of melted. The bathroom's been trashed. There's no soap in the wreckage, but we do spot the wax ring that formerly sealed the toilet to the floor. It's pretty gross, but we've been swimming in putrid gore for days now, so it barely registers, and we might have a use for that wax. There's an old cudgel, too. We probably don't need it. It's damaged. We'll just toss it in the brazier. There's another undead mail carrier in front of the hunting store. We'll grab a few more newspapers. But we can't dawdle around too much. If this Kirk is alive, he'll be to the northeast, and tonight might be our best chance to find him. We take a quick look at upgrading our bow again. It turns out that the bow stabilizer and the bow stabilizer system are two different mods. The former is just a counterweight, while the latter is much more complex and about twice as effective. Unfortunately, it looks like we don't quite have the skill to use it yet. We'll just keep using the regular stabilizer for now. We have about 5 hours before the sun starts coming up, so we decide to hammer together some more nailboard traps until a little after midnight. We should have something to eat, too. No telling how long this trip will take. We'll start a fire in the brazier. And we'll roast some hot dogs over the open flame. They're edible uncooked, but roasting them like this is going to make them a lot more enjoyable. It's our first hot meal in days, and it tastes divine. It's so good that we go back for seconds, finishing off the pack. So our starting outfit included both socks and fishnets. I wear these things together all the time and it doesn't cause problems, but here in Cataclysm it's actually giving us 2 extra foot encumbrance, which is slowing us down a little bit. Wearing combat boots without socks is going to be a little gross, but this will add a few points to our footing and manipulation scores. We'll make sure we have our arrows and our cudgel packed into our rifle case, and we'll bring our bow and the traps out with us. We almost bump into a zombie in the dark. And there's the skeletal zombie. The first zombie staggers toward us, but it steps on a nail which causes it to lose its footing and fall to the ground, where it finishes bleeding out. We brought a cudgel so we can try to deal with that bone zombie. Our beaten stick does the job just fine. Skeletal zombies have great protection from blades and bullets, but their armor doesn't protect them from blunt weapons at all. It had a bug-out bag. We find a Sig Pro 40 and some ammo. Sig Pro is a series of compact pistols that are designed to be lightweight, economical, and easy to use. When it comes to automatics, I've always liked the smaller handguns. They're just classier. Compacts can be really useful as you can sometimes keep them in a pocket or something rather than needing a proper holster, which can save a lot on encumbrance. Maybe we'll play with this thing later. There are also a couple of MREs, some water, and a box of tampons. These are a new addition. I think we can actually put them to use. The old myth about using them to plug up bullet holes is false, but if we cut them up... No, that's not working. Let's try disassembly. Okay, there it is. We can pull them apart and get a chunk of plastic from the applicator, a short string, and some cotton balls. We don't need this plastic at the moment, but string and cotton balls are great. We'll grab the rest of these. We're not wearing our bags, so we're having trouble looting all this stuff. And here comes another zombie. Wow, another bug out bag. I'm starting to think these zombie drops are a little too generous. So it had an FN-57 and a bunch of 5.7 ammo. Fabrique Nationale is a Belgian manufacturer famous for making innovative but possibly over-engineered guns and ammo, and the gun nerds I've talked to are mostly split down the middle on whether they're cool or not. It's kind of like a Ferrari or something, where you can't argue that it isn't very nice, but in a way that might be trying too hard. We'll start with the ammo. 5.7 is a cartridge that was developed in 1990 to replace the 9mm round, which at this point is 122 years old. Despite its small size, it has enormous velocity and penetrative power, being able to pierce through even level 3A vests in some cases. They also have great terminal performance, which is to say they're good at delivering a large percentage of their velocity to the target when they hit, rather than over-penetrating and taking that energy elsewhere. But there are some downsides. For starters, to achieve their high performance, they require a special polymer coating, a steel penetrator, and an aluminum core. This means they require pretty specific factory conditions to produce, and as such, a survivor like us will never be able to craft them, though there are much weaker alternatives that we could make. In real life, these suckers cost more than $1 per round, so if you see someone using them on the range, they're probably either a drug dealer or they got into crypto early. Now for the handgun. The 5.7, as its name might suggest, was created specifically for this round. It's a super lightweight polymer pistol with some really innovative ergonomics. There's even a toggle on it so you can fire it left-handed without launching hot casings directly into your face. Thanks to the small diameter of the cartridge, it holds 20 rounds by default unless your state law says otherwise, and its relatively small size makes it quick on the draw. At about $1,000, it's pretty pricey for a handgun, but not too outlandish. But there are some issues. For one, the 5.7 round is basically a miniature rifle cartridge. It's a lot longer than most pistol rounds, which means the grip on this pistol has a pretty long profile. This feels awkward for some people. It's also incredibly loud, though the recoil is less than what you would get from a 9mm. As a result, some people think it's the coolest thing ever, and some people think it's Euro trash. I fully expect a war in the comments over this. There's also a box of pads here, and these can be disassembled for cotton balls. More first aid supplies. Our inventory's a mess. We haven't adjusted any pocket settings for our current loadout, so things are just going all over the place. We're going to need to address that for the sake of our sanity. For now, let's just dump these bug-out bags on the floor. We'll drop a bunch of this random stuff that we're carrying, too. Let's take it back to the hideout and finish up there. Alright, that's mostly better. Forgot our bow. Since it's nighttime, we can haul these traps outside. What is that hair? He looks like the kid from Zombies Ate My Neighbors. For some reason, it had a book about home distillation. We'll lay the traps down in front of the doors here. There's a little space on one side for us to squeeze past. And of course, a zombie immediately takes the only safe path to get to us. We got it a little too close there. It got a hold of us as we were aiming. Actually, it's a little dark. We have 5 eye encumbrance. Yep, that was it. Taking off our ballistic glasses will help us see farther in the dark. They have shaded lenses, so it makes sense. We do not, in fact, wear our sunglasses at night. Yeah, this is much better. Let's catch our breath. Taking a look at this electric car, it looks like the security system is broken. Maybe the keys are left in the ignition or something. In the dark, we are deadly with this bow. Stealth Archer. Works every time. This one had a book about Arduino experiments. That could help us learn about electronics. Another map of Minot. This one's a restaurant guide. There are an unfortunate number of zombie children down here. It's to be expected at a mall. but it's still depressing. Alright, we've set traps in front of most of the entrances on this side. This will probably make it easier to come and go in the future. We know roughly where we're headed. There's supposed to be some sort of cave in the woods to the northeast. We don't want to try crossing through the swamp at night, so we'll have to head up the east end of the parking lot and cut through the woods along the shortest route. We sink an arrow into a nearby zombie, and as we reach for another, we hear a choking hiss behind us. The slavering biter has caught our scent and is tracking us down. We turn and knock an arrow as it charges, much faster than the other undead. We hold our breath, steady our aim, and fire. It goes down, but there's no time to celebrate. We stalk further along the parking lot, putting arrows into anything that moves. There's a book on archery here. A viewer actually pointed out that the dampener that we know how to make will only work on primitive bows, and that we need to find a manual to learn how to make a dampening kit for a compound bow. This might have it, so that's a lucky find. We're out of breath and our arms lack the strength to draw our bow. We'll need to catch our breath. Archery is very fatiguing. That's one of its other drawbacks. We find a hand mirror on the ground. It's actually the wing mirror from this ambulance that's been broken off. It gives us an idea, so we'll hold on to it. The back of the ambulance is mostly empty. Maybe it was looted in the riots. Coming around to the passenger side, we discover something interesting. This ambulance has been smashed to the point where the gas tank has actually fallen off. It's dented, but still intact, and it's still full of gas. That could be very useful. We're actually going to take this back inside. We spot a couple of arrows in the food court. We'll just pick those up. Alright, let's get out of here. A zombie briefly gets hold of us as we try to evade and shoot it. Here's something. Car Buyer's Guide. Distracted, we walk directly into another zombie and catch a bite as we fend it off. So the Car Buyer's Guide. It's not a book about cars, it's a book about haggling. A zombie got past our traps here. Looks like it had some pain pills though. Nice. So if we light up the laptop and look at the Car Buyer's Guide, this can bring our social to 1. How long would that take to read? We're not going to be able to get a rank of social tonight. So our problem is that we've been living in the back rooms of the mall for a week without a shower. We've managed to change our clothes exactly once, but we've spent the entire time stomping through gore and wrestling with decaying corpses. If we were able to get a theoretical skill rank from this book, we'd be able to use the mirror we found to catch our practical skill up to 1. But we just don't have enough time before the sun comes up. We make our way into the woods. It's dark and we don't really have any experience with the outdoors, but it's nice to be away from the rot stink in the mall. Before long, we come across a rocky outcropping. This must be it. We can hear something as we approach. It sounds like a struggle. Ducking under a low overhang, we spot him, just beyond the mouth of the cave. There's a man with a helmet and a crossbow, and he appears to be in a fight. We set down our bow. He hasn't spotted us yet, but we don't want him to get the wrong idea. Sizing up his gear, we're suddenly aware that we don't know this person, and he could be dangerous. He's dressed in street clothes, basketball shorts, a printed t-shirt, and a trench coat. It looks like some stuff he just threw together. His only real armor is the riot helmet he probably picked up in all the chaos. There's no telling where he got that crossbow, but it's starting to come apart as he bashes something in the darkness with it. We expected to see a zombie, but it looks like something smaller and furrier. A dog? We enter the cave, holding up our hands. Are you Kirk? He turns, not quite aiming the crossbow at us. Keep your distance. It's a warning, not a threat. Take it easy. I'm not here to fight. He seems convinced by our words. He goes back to stomping on the weird carcass. Oh, hey, where'd you come from? The mall. There was a zombie there. It had this map. Guy in a suit? Brown hair? Yeah. Sorry. He starts to say something else when another shape leaps out of the darkness. It takes us a moment to understand what we're looking at. A dog-sized spider leaps onto the man as he struggles to fight it off. We want to help, but there's no room to squeeze through and join the fight. All we can do is watch as the monster skitters up his leg and bites him in the stomach. He manages to beat it down with his crossbow in pretty short order, but he's bleeding. We pull out our medical supplies and move in to give him some first aid. And there's another spider. He was ready for it this time. It doesn't take him long to bash the thing into a pile of legs and hair. We're able to put our recent first aid experience to good use, getting him cleaned up and bandaged pretty quickly. It's a good opportunity to make our introductions. This is indeed Kirk Kimbrough, and he has a problem. I mean, besides the possibly poisonous bite wounds. If Zach's dead, that means Carla's alone out there. Who's that? She's part of our group. The two of them were supposed to pick up something for me. Listen, I know we just met, but I need your help finding her. Shouldn't we be trying to look for, the army or something? You don't get it, do you? It's over. There's no help coming. It's not just Minot. There's nothing left. Anywhere. Kirk grits his teeth against the pain, keeping a careful eye out for more spiders. He explains that he's part of a mutual aid group that's trying to reunite people with their families after they fled the cities. But now that the internet's gone down, he's lost all the data. Carla and Zach volunteered to get it from Zach's house in Minot, but now he fears the worst. He's too hurt to move, but he gives us a USB stick and asks if we'd consider taking on the mission. Zach's house, as it turns out, is on the opposite end of Minot. If Kirk is to be believed, the city is totally overrun. Given how much trouble we've had just carving out a space in a single mall, it seems doubtful we could easily make it that far. On the other hand, we do need Kirk's help. If we don't take the job, he's going to run off and try to do it himself, and we doubt he'd survive in his current state. It's also a pretty worthwhile cause. It seems clear that in any case, we're going to need more information. We ask Kirk to give us a few days to try to figure it out, and he agrees. For now, he'll stay here in the cave. Hopefully he's killed all the spiders. On the walk back, part of our brain complains that this is a moronic idea. But we can't stomach the idea of doing nothing either. What would be the point of surviving if we didn't at least try to do something productive? So, about that encounter. First impressions are important. NPCs have several stats that they use to determine their overall opinion of our character. Namely trust, value, fear, and anger. The first time an NPC sees the player, they make a snap judgment about their character. If you have any traits that make you more or less attractive, that gets counted, and so do things like whether or not you're armed, hurt, or drunk. This sets their trust and fear scores, which influence all kinds of things, like your ability to persuade or intimidate them. To make the best impression, you want to be pretty, unarmed, and sober. If you're looking to intimidate them instead, then you want to be ugly, holding your most powerful gun, you want a high strength score, and you want to be healthy. Once this opinion is set, you don't need to worry about making an impression again. After the first meeting, trust and fear can be slowly influenced by doing specific things. If you keep NPCs around, and they're healthy and their needs are met, their trust might slowly increase over time. You can also boost this after they're recruited by choosing the chit-chat option in their dialogue menu once every 6 hours. Doing a quest for an NPC will also make them value you much more. We have no social skill and only average beauty and intelligence, so we're going to want to do Kirk's quest before we ask him to join. It's a persuasion check, Asking and failing to recruit an NPC will increase their anger score, which can eventually cause them to become unrecruitable or even hostile after repeated attempts, so it's a good idea to do their quest first. A zombie wanders out of the underbrush as we hike back toward the mall. After dispatching it with our bow, we discovered that it was carrying a flu shot in a sealed package. We've never given ourselves an injection before, but the instructions are pretty clear. After a quick jab, we're all done. Colds and flus last 1 to 2 weeks. The common cold is a major debuff, while the flu can be outright devastating. If you get sick without sufficient supplies to hole up and ride it out, it's very easy to find yourself in a position where you're incapable of living through a fight but also desperate for food. If you have supplies, it's mostly just annoying. The flu shot will greatly increase our immunity for the rest of this year. After that, we can only rely on our lifestyle score and wearing a mask. Anything that offers environmental protection to your mouth helps, with the best protection capping out at about 50%. Combined with a good lifestyle, that's pretty safe, but this injection will be great for peace of mind. There's some stuff inside this school bus. We can reach in through this broken window. Popular mechanics. Nice. Very cool. We find an aluminum bat sitting in one of the seats. This thing hits hard. It has great accuracy and it comes with the brutal strike ability, which stuns and knocks enemies back. Given the new grab system, this should work really nicely. We may as well take some time to hunt down the zombies on the north end of the parking lot. Here's a working motorcycle. We've considered taking the electric car up into Minot, but a motorcycle would make it easier to maneuver around if things are really bad there. We make our way back into the mall. It looks like this is that clothing store on the north end. We hop up on the counter and take a shot at a zombie as it struggles to reach us. Bullseye. Another zombie catches up as we sight it down, and we wind up taking a bite trying to get away. This is tiring us out. We should duck out of here. There we go. Let's catch our breath. The door to the underwear shop opens, revealing a zombie. It grabs us as we try to get away, striking and gnawing at any part of us it can. Our armor's doing great work, though. We got chewed on pretty bad back there, but we're barely hurt at all. It's harder to use the bow indoors. Outside, we get an extra tile or two of vision because of the moonlight, but in here it's much darker. We did spot some stuff earlier that could be helpful. This shop sells boats. We've got a rowboat, a motorboat, and a kayak. It looks like Zach's house is only a couple of blocks from the riverbank, so we could go up the river to get to it. There's also a quad, an electric bicycle, and a scooter. There's even a tandem bike and a golf cart. Ah! We ran right into one. It tries to chomp on us, but it can't get through our armor. We should have a look around. We'll use the service corridor. Just another clothing store. Food! Sausage! Chips. Some of our arrows from the other day. We're down to 42 from 50. We know some of those broke, but one or two are probably just lying around somewhere. There's a food vendor cart here, and it's full of condiments. And here's an exit out the west end of the food court. We can clear a couple of zombies while we're here. Dawn is just beginning to break. We can see another one of these mutated zombies. This one is sickly. Its skin looks especially thin, with a sticky yellow fluid flowing out through the clearly visible veins. We can tell from the smell that that's more acid. We launch an arrow at it, which sends a splatter of acid out across the ground as it sticks into its body. We take it down, and a large pool of acid spills out onto the pavement. Another zombie spots us and walks right through it, badly burning itself. Acid, perhaps predictably, hurts you if you stand in it. It hurts most zombies too, which means that you can strategically use these enemies to your advantage in some situations. We'll just hack up that corpse so that it doesn't get back up. And we'll switch to our cudgel for this zombie cop. We have a number of effects slowing us down. Mostly it's just colder than expected this morning. Okay, shotgun beanbags, double-aught shells, 357 SIG. The parking lot doesn't actually look too crowded. It seems like there's a campground over on the west side, a few houses up the way. As effective as stealth archery is, there's something to be said for unstealth archery. We realize we've made an error. We're too tired to get another shot off in time, and we don't have another hiding spot to run back to. We'll use this car. The zombie rams up against it and stupidly tries to smash through rather than going around. It tumbles in through the hatchback, so we shut the passenger side doors. Now it's kind of stuck in there. While we try to catch our breath, however, the noise alerts another one. Damn it! There's no easy way out of it this time, but we still have one trick up our sleeve. Out comes the CZ just as a zombie falls on us. We have no choice but to let it get a bite in as we push the barrel up against its body. That hurt. We'll want to clean that wound out, but we're alright. We place one hand on our knee as we double over, panting. Our eyes dart between the zombie in the hatchback and the crowd that our gunfire has attracted. We just need to catch our breath and run. This will be easier if we hang on to our bow. We drag it along behind us and move up toward the hatchback. We slam the door shut and fall back against it, squeezing off rounds at the zombie behind us. The other one breaks free of the windshield, and we put it down without a problem. We stumble away, leaving the bow behind. We can always come back for it. We take out another one, but we can see at least 11 of them now, coming from all directions. It's one final jog back to the mall, and we're left wheezing from the strain. Now we can slip into the darkness and leave the enemy behind. That was a close call. We might have been able to shoot our way out of that crowd, but who knows how many more would have shown up. If a group of them got our hands on us in the open like that, it'd be a death sentence. We've had our first brush with the outside world and met our first survivor. If we can prove to him that we know what we're doing, we just might make a friend in this calamity. It's worth a shot, right?